before I got married, around the time when PJ and I were talking, not as a dating couple, but just as friends, we're talking. Other guys were showing interest in me at the time, and I had this passion project that I wanted to work on. I wanted to make lunch for about 25 to 30 students or children in Makoko community of Lagos. I mentioned this before on the show, but this is a different context. So just stick with me. And I shared it with these guys, different guys, at the time that I was just friends with at the time. And all of them had like a positive input. The ones who were skilled in one thing or the other said they were going to volunteer to, help out with the event or with the project, right? But then my budget at the time was about 30,000 naira. This was 2014, I believe. So that's a lot of money. That's like 100,000 naira now. And then I tell PJ, who was at the time just Pastor Jimon, my friend, right? And I tell him, and then he blows this project up from just a 30K budget project to a 400,000 naira budget. And at that point, I knew he was crazy. And I was looking forward to the failure of that project so that it would be a good reason for me to say, you know what, I can't consider marrying you. Something's wrong with you. You're definitely crazy. Hello guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Lade Owolabi. On today's episode of Wife in Waiting, we're going to be continuing on that series, The Wife in Waiting, and it's based off of Proverbs chapter 18 verse 22 that says, he who finds a wife finds a good thing. So the idea is that you're supposed to be a good thing before you are found. Specifically on this episode of Wife in Waiting, we're going to be talking about partnership and how that's important that you create an opportunity for partnership in your dating relationship before you get married, because that's something you're going to be doing in marriage a lot, right? Marriage, one of the definition is that it's a partnership. It's something where you are together on a team. A lot of people have a problem with this idea of it's you against me. It's my team against your team. So like I like to do on Faith Friday episodes, I like to define the term. And on this episode, the main term I'm defining is the word partnership. What's partnership? The dictionary says that it's a formal or informal arrangement by two or more parties to manage and operate a business or a project and share its profit, right? I would advise that if you're in a dating relationship, you create a project, a passion project, either on the guy side or on the lady side, something that, or you guys come together and create it, something that both of you can work on, and you can now see how you manage and operate it together. Because in marriage is a partnership. You're going to be managing and running the operations of your home. Your home is going to be the head office, right? Your room is going to be the secretariat of operations, right? Where decisions are made and all of that. And the best way to test it out is when you work on projects together. Why is it important that you work on a project together before you get married to somebody? See, I've noticed that a lot of ladies, even spiritual ladies who are like faith-filled ladies, tongue-talking, demon-casting, most times when they meet the person and they've checked out, belief system, value system, all of these things is by words. The person is telling you that I am called for a generation. I am hardworking. I am disciplined. I don't take time. I don't mess with time. Like, I take time really seriously. I don't play with my time. The person is telling you. But when you handle a project together, you have an opportunity to actually see whether all of this is true. So why is it important? It will reveal things to you that can't be said. There's some things, you know what they call vibe? The person's vibe. There are some people, and I was really looking out for vibes on that day of that project. There's some people that, like to put on that hat and say, I am the boss here, and nothing happens here until I say go, right? So that's an opportunity for you to feel vibes. That's important. More than what they can say, what you can see, what you can rate, your spirit will be nudging you that this is this or this is this. Be careful about this, right? You'll be able to see if they're quick to be angry, if they're patient. You'll be able to see all of those things. You will notice red flags and you will notice shining stars. Your gut feeling. If you've ever watched Scandal, you will see where Olivia Pope will always talk about her gut feeling. if you are not in an active project or operation, then you can't really judge, because there will be no gut feeling to say whether or not this person is okay to make that lifelong commitment with, right? So you notice red flags and you notice shining stars. Another reason why it's important is that it helps you decide whether or not you can or cannot work together. There's some people that you just can't work together. They're not necessarily bad people. Like for me, I don't like talkatives. My husband is a pastor and he talks for a living. He's also a speaker. He talks for a living. But as a personality trait, he's not a talkative. I can't stand men who can't keep their mouth shut. It does not mean that they're bad people. Like they always have something to say. Like you always have an opinion. Like you always have something to say. I feel like that's overbearing and that's a personal thing. So although my husband is a preacher, my husband is a speaker, my husband speaks for a living, when we're in our personal private space, most times he's sucked into studying and reading, and even when he's not doing all of that, he's just really observing. The only things that make my husband really flare up and start to talk and go on and on and on is politics and the state of the situation of Nigeria. Those are the things that can make him talk on and on. But just on a plain basis, he's a pretty chill guy, right? And it doesn't mean that somebody who talks a lot is a bad person. It just means that the vibing is aligning. Here you get. All right, let's move on. So how do you go about it? How do you go about trying to get your gut feeling ready, right? Or your senses, your antennas. How do you go about finding those red flags? The first thing you need to do is, as a lady, and I've said it before, you need to have a life. If you have a life, even if it's a corporate job or a business, there's something you need to start discovering yourself. There's something that you must be passionate about. No matter what it is, no matter how little it is, there's something. And just in case you are not, the guy should have something he's passionate about. Both of you should, and I prefer for it to be something that is non-profit. If you like business and he likes business, you guys can do something that has to do with profit. But I would rather advise that it's something that is non-profit. Maybe you buy sanitary towels for ladies, and you say, oh, this is just how I want to celebrate my birthday, and see how he reacts to it. Whether or not he encourages you, whether or not he supports you, if he's a hands-on person, or if he's just, I'll give you 1 million naira, go and handle it. I mean, some ladies will take that over, we have only 100,000, how can we make do with it? How can we do fundraising? How can we, when are we going to the market? How are we bargaining to get this thing? It's different dynamics. So find a passion project that is dear to your heart that you would like to do. It doesn't have to be huge, large scale. Orphanages would accept donations no matter how little they are. And when you create that passion project, you need to plan it together. You'll be noticing a lot of things, because see, for the rest of your marriage, that's what you're doing. That planning. It's one event after another. One birthday to one person's anniversary, to one funeral, to somebody's wedding. So it's planning. So plan together, execute together, right? Do it together. It's great if somebody wants to give you $1 million and say, don't worry about it. But maybe because he's busy. But if there will be another person who will give you $1 million and say, have you called this person? Have you gotten a vendor for this? Have you gotten somebody to supply you this? That will be actually involved. That's what you need, more than just, I've given you money, forget about it. Except, of course, you're ready to live with, I've given you money, forget about it, right? Execute together and fail together. Don't be afraid to fail, because it's something that is inevitable in the cycle of life. Failure is fine. It will happen, I'm telling you. So if it can happen in disappointment, be disappointed together. Let me tell you one of the earliest disappointments we faced, PJ and I, was when we were preparing for this program. Now I can say PJ and I, but then it wasn't just PJ and I, it was I and all the other guys who, at the time, we wanted to raise 400,000 naira, and I had written a list of people. He said I should write a list of people that I can ask to support this project, and I was getting a few no's, and that was really hurtful. And in that period of time, like, we had each other, do you get? Even though we were friends, we were not husband and wife, we were not courting, we were not in a dating relationship, we were just friends. And I would say, oh, this person did not, the person didn't answer, the person said not right now, and we'll just talk about it and we'll feel better afterwards. I'm telling you, there's nothing as beautiful as having each other as comfort, because why you need to fail together, preferably before you get married, feel fit, because you just never know how somebody else will react when there's an occurrence of failure. Some people, when there's disappointment or failure, they go and break all the plates in the kitchen. They break the television set. They curse you out on social media. Like, if you don't experience that beforehand, you will not necessarily know. And sometimes, even if you experience it, they might be able to suppress those signs. But one way or another, you must be able to sense when you see those red flags. So partnership is extremely important. The benefits, you're going to gain experience that people are gaining in their third, fourth, fifth year of marriage. You've gained it, like you've bought time, right? You're going to gain experience, and you give yourself a chance to make a decision about this person. It's not like you'll be stuck in the in the marriage. You're already married to this person, and you're even telling the person, I volunteer with this non-profit, we want to go out on Saturday, and the person doesn't even want to hear, the person doesn't even care. What are you talking about? Sexual violence? Please sit down. You are not going. How do you react to that if you're already married? But if you already know what you're passionate about, you have passion projects, pet projects, and they're just things that are dear to your heart that mean a lot to you, you can pass that information across in a very expedient way by doing a project together. It will create magic, and you will learn more about partnership. I hope that you've learned something from this video today. My call to action for you is, when you finish like this, go to the notes on your phone and just write pet projects I would love to do if I could. Number 1, sanitary towel for girls. Number 2, take rice to an orphanage, raw rice, maybe like a bag of rice. Just write a list of pet projects. Writing the list, you may never find where you wrote it, right? But what you do, I've taught you before on this channel, that you're taking it from the realm of the spiritual, you're taking it from the realm of being invincible, and you're bringing it now to the physical realm. So when you write it down, there's even more of a chance that you will remember what you've written down. I really hope this works for you, and I hope more that you try it out. I love you so much. Until next time, don't forget to be the best version of you. Bye.